In this video, I'm going to show you how to install the upgrade kit number 1 for the Brother V series. Now, if you happen to own one of the V series of Brother machines, either the V3, which is an embroidery only machine, or the V7, which is an embroidery and sewing combination machine, then it will be well worth investing in the upgrade kit number 1. Now, included in this upgrade kit, you're going to find that there are 2 new hoops. Now, once you have done the upgrade, the embroidery area of the machine would have been increased, so you can use the larger hoop with larger designs of 200 by 300 millimeters. Then there's also a square hoop included, which is ideal for quilts or square designs. Also included in the upgrade kit are 30 new designs, and they have been designed to fit into those new hoops that you get with the upgrade kit. Now, the other thing that's included in the upgrade kit is the line formatting feature. Now, what this does is it will give you a new key on the text keyboard, and that is your enter key. Now, what this will allow you to do is to type multiple lines of text, one below the other. So when you have typed your first line, you simply touch the enter key, move on to the second line, and so forth, and you can create as many lines of text as will fit into your embroidery frame. Once you have your upgrade kit, it's time to install it on your machine. However, if you still need to buy a kit, please feel free to visit my website. You'll find the link below this video. This is going to be a short video which includes all of the basic steps for installing the kit. However, if you would like to watch the longer version which includes all the details of each step, please find the link to that video in the description box below this video. Before we can install our upgrade kit, we need to make sure that the machine is on the latest version of software. So we're going to go onto the machine settings, and we're going to go and look for what is installed on the machine. Then we're going to go to the internet and we're going to compare the versions. So if the internet has a newer version, we are going to have to install that on our machine. So we're going to go to the settings page on the machine and scroll down until we find the section where it says version, and then we're going to take note of the version that is currently installed on the machine, and then go and compare that to what is available on the internet. Now, once you've checked on your machine to see what version of software it's running on, you're going to come over to the Brother website. So because I'm in South Africa, I typed in brother.co.za, but if you're anywhere else in the world, you would type in brother.com and then look for your region and then click on that region. But I've already clicked on the South African region. Now, once the Brother website opens, you'll be able to go to this little tab here that says support and downloads, and then you're going to go to the Brother Solutions Center. So I click on that, and that's going to take me through to the support and downloads page. Now, this is where I will find if there are any updates available for my machine, as well as a host of other different things. But for today, we're just going to look at the download for the software. So we need to first of all search for our product. So we click on product search, and then we're going to go to our category, which in this case is home sewing machine. And then once that opens, we're going to go and look for our particular model. Now, I'm going to be doing the Innovis, and in particular the V series. So I go to the V series, and then I look for my machine, which is the Innovis V3. So I click on that. Now, once I've clicked on that, you'll see a little box will open, and there'll be a picture of the machine, and it'll say Innovis V3. Now, up at the top here, this is where we're going to go and look for the download for the software. But before we do that, you'll see that down at the bottom under this information box, it tells you what the latest software version is. So this is the number that should be on my machine. Now if I look at my machine and I see that the number is a smaller number than what is here on the internet, then I know that I must definitely go and update the software. So I can either click here or I can click on downloads. So I'm just going to click on downloads. Now you'll see that it's going to open up a new box, and in here it's picked up what operating system you're working on, so you simply click OK. And now what we want to do is we want to update our software. So we're going to click on update software. Then we're going to have to agree to the terms and conditions, and once we've done that, you'll see that the little download will take place, and here it's already taking place at the bottom left hand corner of my screen. Now once that update has downloaded, I am going to go and transfer that onto a USB stick. Now I will be able to find this folder to transfer to my USB stick under my downloads folder. But before I do that, I'm going to come up here, because here are the step-by-step instructions on how to install that file once I have transferred it to my USB stick. So they go through step by step on exactly how you will transfer that file onto your machine. Now because I'm going to be using a USB stick, there's a special little note here that says when you are using a USB flash stick, then you must make sure that there is no data other than this little file on that stick, because if you've got any other data on the stick and you put that into your machine, the update might not be successful. So what I will do is I will transfer this little file from my downloads folder onto my blank USB stick, and then I am going to remove the USB stick from my PC, and then I'm going to go and pop that into my machine, and I'll update my machine from that USB stick that will have this little update file on it. Now following the instructions from the website, I've got the USB stick in my machine, but they also tell me I must hold my needle threader button in, and then I turn the machine on. So you let go of the needle threader button, and now you'll see that it's showing a picture of the machine with a file that's going to be updated to the machine, and now it's asking me, do I want to use the upgrade file from my USB stick or from a cable? In this case it's my USB stick. So it says press the load button after you've connected the USB, which is already connected, so I just click load. So now it'll tell you that it's saving the upgrade file. Do not turn the power of the machine to off. You'll see that there's a little progress bar here, and by the time it gets to 100%, it will then give you the message to say that the upgrade has been successful. Now that our machine software is up to date, we can activate our upgrade kit number 1. Now inside your box you're going to find an instruction manual, and there's also a CD in there, and printed on the CD cover is an activation code that we are going to need to enter, but while we are online. So if I take the disc out of the package, you'll see that there is a number that is printed on this disc cover, and that is what we are going to need to enter once we have connected to the internet. Now just before we go and register our kit and get our certification number from the internet, we are going to go and find our machine number. So we're going to go to the settings, and then we're going to scroll through and back to that same page where we had found the update version number for our software. But in this case, we're going to look for this number over here, because this is the number of this machine. Now this machine has got two numbers. There's a serial number which you're going to find printed on the back of the machine, but that is not the number that we're going to use on the internet to register the machine and the kit. This is the number that we have to use. So what I have done is I've taken the CD out of the actual upgrade kit, and you'll see at the back there they're going to give you serial numbers and all sorts of things. So what I've done is I've written down the machine number onto this little paper envelope now, so that when they ask me for it when I'm busy registering on the internet, I will already have it written down on that cover. So now I'm off to the internet to go and register the kit. Now we're going to leave this screen open, because it says up here, if you've purchased an upgrade kit and you want to certify your sewing machine, then you're going to press this little key here. So now once I've completed the certification on the internet, they're going to give me a new number. I'm going to come back to the screen and I'm going to click on certification and put the certification number in there. So let's go off to the internet. Now here's a quick tip. Most newer PCs no longer have disk drives. So if you do not have a disk drive, then ask somebody who has if they would be able to copy the contents of the disk onto a USB flash stick that you can use in place of the disk on your PC. Now start off by popping the CD into your CD drive, or if you have the information transferred onto a USB stick, put that into your PC now. And then once your computer's picked it up, you'll see that there's a folder called Patterns, and then there's also your embroidery design guide. So what I've done is I have copied those across into a folder, so all of my patterns are together, as well as that embroidery guide. So if I have a look at that, if I open the embroidery design guide, you'll see that it's got all of the pictures of all of those patterns that are included in the pattern file. Now you can print that if you like, or you can just look at it via your PC. But what's important is we need to go to this wizard kit. Now we'll select our language. Once we've selected the language, we say OK, and then you'll follow the instructions from here. So you'll see that there's an introduction, and it tells you in the introduction that you must please update your sewing machine software to the latest version. Now, if you don't have the latest version on your machine and you try and do the update, it might not work. They also tell you that in order for a certification key to be issued, a connection to the internet must be established. Now for certification, the machine number, so that's the number that's on your machine, is required, and you're going to go back to your machine now and get that number. Now I have already written that number down from my machine onto the back of that CD envelope, so when they ask me for my machine number, I'll just be able to copy it from there. And then once we're done with that, we just click on Next. And now it's going to ask you if you want to download the latest program, but I've already updated my machine, so that's fine. So I just go Next. Now it says if you want to download the manual for instructions on how to use this kit, you can, but I don't need that, so I go to Next. Now you'll see on the left it's jumping down to the next section. Now it says enter the CD key. Now the CD key is printed on the back of that CD envelope. So we're going to just type this in now. So you'll see that there's a VB kit 1, and then a colon, and then after that there are 3 blocks. of information. So each block will get entered into each of these 3 blocks. Make sure that if it's uppercase, that you've got your uppercase set to on. So I'm going to type in and I move to the next block. And then once I've entered the CD key, it's going to ask me to enter the machine number. So I'm going to just click on next. So now I have already written that number down from my machine settings page onto the back of the CD envelope. So I'm simply going to type that number in on this screen now. And then just double check that you've got the correct number, because you can only use this kit on one machine at a time. So make doubly sure that you've got the correct information. And then we'll say next. Now it's very important that you check the entered information. So just go and check that you have put in the correct CD key. So just double check that. And then I check my machine number, because it says if this information has not been entered correctly, the kit won't be able to be used on this machine. But if the information has been entered correctly, then we're just going to click on the certify button. But if we need to correct it, we'll click the back button. But I'm happy that all of this information is right, so I'm going to simply click on certify. Now once you've clicked on certify, then they're going to issue you with this certification key. Now this is why we had to be connected to the internet to get the certification key, because this is the certification key that we are going to go and put into our machine now. So what I like to do is write the certification key down on the back of that CD envelope so that I've got all of the information in one place. And then once we're done, we're going to just click on finish. So then we can just remove the CD from the CD drive. And then, as I say, you have already copied your patterns as well as your design guide across to your folder. So now that everything's done, we can go to the machine and type in the certification code. So now that I've completed the registration of my kit on the internet, I'm now back at my machine because I need to click on this certification key, because they gave me a certification number once I had put my machine number in on the internet. So I like to write everything down on this little piece of paper that the CD is stored in so that everything is together. So now what I can do is I can click on certification. Now it says certifying the upgrade kit, press the kit number to certify. So we are using kit number 1. And then it tells us now that it's kit number 1, and then it gives us our machine number again up at the top, so we know that we used that right number. Now at the bottom here it says enter the certification key number and then press set. So off I go to that certification number, and then I'm just going to type it in. And then once I'm done with that, and remember, if you need to go back, if you need to delete something, you can. So just double check that that is correct, because if it's not correct, it's going to definitely not work. You can also return to the previous screen if you want to. But now I'm quite happy that that is the correct number, so I say set, and it says certification was successful, please restart the sewing machine. So I'm going to turn it off and turn it on, and then I'll show you what happens next. Welcome to the Sew and Craft channel. My name is Shireen Haynes. Being creative and teaching are my passions, and I've been doing this full-time since 1993. I post easy to follow step-by-step videos for sewing and craft, and if you'd like to know when I post new videos, please click on the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon, and please click on the like because this helps me to spread the word that sewing and crafting are fun. Thank you. Also, please feel free to click the link below this video to connect to my website for more video lessons. So now that you have completed the upgrade on your machine, you will be able to use both of those new hoops that you get with the kit. So now that it has been upgraded, you can do embroidery designs that are 300 by 200. Also, you can use all of those lovely square designs that you got with the kit. So you'll see that on that CD there are a whole lot of designs that are designed to go into that square frame, but obviously any other designs that would fit into 200 by 200 would work in this frame as well. Now I'm going to show you on the machine what happens to the frames that get displayed on the machine itself. So now that I've upgraded the machine, I just want to show you what's going to happen to your embroidery frame display. So we'll go and choose an embroidery. So any embroidery can be used here. So I'll just choose any one of those and we'll choose that design there. And then once it's loaded, you'll see that if I go to the embroidery screen, it's going to tell me that I need to have the large frame on. Now you'll also notice that it still only shows the 4 frames that it always displayed. So if I go to my embroidery frame display and it opens up, you'll see that all of the 4 frames that I always had before are only still displayed here. So your new frames do not get added onto this list. So don't panic and think that this hasn't worked, because it has worked, because the machine software will read those frame sizes of the new frames that you got with the kit. It's just that they won't show them up on here. But say for example you go and choose one of those new designs to use in the square hoop, which I already have here, it will automatically read that it's got this frame on the machine, and it will allow you to embroider in this frame. So if you had a smaller frame, it would warn you and say change to a larger frame. So please remember that the new frames are not going to show up on your display, but the machine will read them when you put the frames onto the actual machine and choose a design that would fit into those particular frames.